you guys hear that? Let me see. Here we go. Somebody else is here. I don't know who it was. I lost track. Oh, Lena. Okay. Lauren's here. Okay. Let me share this. Where'd you go? There you are. There's somebody else. You guys see the book, right? So the quiz tomorrow is going to be on section 8.1, which is stuff like, let me get you some good problems. Yeah, this kind of stuff. Simplifying rational expressions, right? Is that, you guys, right? We have to factor everything and see what cancels, right? You guys with me? And it's on section 8.2, which is really just the next natural extension of that, which is to have a couple fractions in a row, like this guy. So you still factor everything, see what cancels. It's basically the same idea. That's why those two really should be one section. And of course, you also have division in there. And we've talked about what happens. Division is multiplication. Just flip the second guy. So if you know how to multiply fractions, you have to know how to divide them. They're the same thing. Any questions on that? Considering that is on the quiz tomorrow. Does anybody have questions from that? No. Okay. No? Jamie, do you have some?
No, I was just going to say no.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Let me see. Somebody else just came in. All right. Let me do this. Pow. I have spotlighted my video for you. All right. So what I want to do, well, first wanted to see if anybody had questions, and I guess not. Everybody's ready. Let me just.
Yes, I have.
Oh yes, go ahead.
Page 897, 3. Chapter 8, section 1. The third one. A.
Wait. Let me catch up to you. So section 8.1.
Yeah, 3.
Number
the third
3?
one. Yeah,
Number
3? A. 3A. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Whoa,
my question is, so y cannot equal 0 or no? Because y can cancel each other.
I love it. So I did address this. Let me stop sharing so I could put this up here. And let me turn off my background. I took that picture, by the way. Oh, it's such a nice guy. All right, I'll stop. Let me turn off my neighborhood. Bye, neighborhood. Oh, no, they're dead. Okay. Now, I should have sprayed this off, but too bad. So let me ask, this is going to be a very interesting question. You ready? I'm going to ask this question. It's really weird. If I divide, the first couple questions are old. If I divide, like, what's 2 divided by 0? What do we call that?
Undefined.
Undefined. And I explained a couple times exactly why we don't just call it undefined. It is undefined, right? So that's undefined. What is 0 divided by 2?
0.
0. Is everybody with me? So 0 divided by anything is 0, and anything divided by 0 is undefined. So what is 0 divided by 0?
I guess undefined.
No, I thought 0 divided by anything was 0.
1.
No, it's not 1.
No.
It's not 1. It's actually worse than undefined. It is something called indeterminate. It is horrible. So let me get away from that. That was the deeper explanation of what's going on here. You cannot have 0 over 0. So even if the y's cancel out. So if I have a problem like this, let me do a different problem. If I have 4ab squared divided by a, what can a not be? Why is it so tiny? Oh my gosh, what just happened? I have no room here. Oh, there. Okay. I'm going to destroy everything here. All right. All right, what's happening? What can A not be? What value of A? Huh?
Cannot be 0.
Can't be 0. I don't care that you can only cancel those if A is not 0. A divided by A is only 1 if A is not 0. So A still can't, you can't say, oh, it cancels, so therefore there's no bottom. No, you actually can only cancel them if A isn't 0. So A still can't be 0. So if the question is, what value makes it undefined or what can it not be, don't cancel anything because you might accidentally lose an answer. In fact, it's not a simplification question, so don't simplify. Leave everything the way it is. Maybe you have to factor the bottom, but then just see what makes the bottom 0. Don't kill anybody because you're not even allowed to do it unless you know that it isn't 0. Yeah. I don't know, does that confuse the hell out of anybody? Okay. Any other questions, guys? Anybody? Any other general questions, specific questions? Questions about questions? Okay. So let's get back into where we left off. I have to put up there. All right, let's do this. There is a sheet I'm going to put up on Canvas that I forgot in the middle of all my meetings to throw up on Canvas for you earlier. So it's kind of an explanatory sheet about unlike denominators, right? So I promise you I'll throw it up on Canvas later. We're not going to have a quiz on that unlike denominator stuff until next week, if I remember correctly. So we got a little bit of time, right? But still, it'd be nice to have that. So let's get back into where we were. So if I have, let's see. Okay. Where's my other pen? Oh, man. This, if you know George Carlin, he's all about too much stuff, and now I've got too much stuff up here on this thing. Can anybody tell me what the first step, what is it that tells me I can't just make this 2 over something? I always get somebody do that anyway. So watch, before you say anything. This is an answer that I get. Somebody tells me that is the answer. Can you see what that person did? Can you see they did 4 minus 2, and they did x squared plus 7x minus x? Do you see that? So you can see that there is a kind of logic there, but at the same time you can say, well, that's not how anything works. It just isn't how anything works. You cannot subtract fractions if they don't have the same denominator, because then they're not like terms. So definitely let go of that shit, right? I understand why you might want to put that, but fractions don't suddenly change how they act just because I put different stuff in them. They are still fractions. They cannot change the way they act. So somebody now tell me, what is the first thing I should do in this problem?
And the first term, take x out.
All right, so
the bottom.
First thing I should do is any denominators, I should factor them if they're factorable, because then I can see what's in them. And then I can see what the other fractions are missing. In this case, I just have one more to worry about, thankfully, right? So if I factor this, I'll take an x out. All right, so what's that guy missing? Somebody else. Young's doing too much work. What's this guy missing that this guy has?
X plus 7?
Yeah. They both have an X, right? So I always think about it. I don't have kids. I was dating somebody with kids for a while, and that was interesting. I was a little bit that. But it's probably better that I don't have kids, because If they yell about one person has more ice cream, I'll try to give them more ice cream, and then somebody else yells, and they just eat all the ice cream, and now nobody gets ice cream. Oh, probably not the best parenting in the world, but this is basically like that. This kid over here is like, oh, you got an X+7. I didn't get no X+7 sprinkles on my ice cream. So you give the one that's missing something exactly what they're missing. What makes it legal? I can't just do this. That's what Jeff said. Jeff said give it what it's been. No. What makes it legal to do that? If I do it to the bottom, I have to also do it to the top. We know these things. This is how fractions work. And as much as people might think they hate fractions, there are certain things about fractions you do pretty well. And you know that. You know how to make it, build it up to be LCD. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. How are we doing? Because really, I just multiply by 1, which is always legal. If I multiply something by 1, I can do that any damn time I feel like it. Right? So I just did. Yay. So does somebody remember what to be careful about? Somebody notice what's kind of evil in this problem that you should pay attention to when you see it? I like the fact that I can do this anywhere and it still looks like I'm pointing to it.
Minus.
Yeah, yeah, the minus. So one way to do this, you don't have to do this, but one way to do it is when you see a minus there, make it plus and negative, and then you won't forget it's -2 that you're distributing. Do you guys see that? To me, that's just the most direct way to remember to do that. So it shouldn't be plus 14. It should be minus 14 when you distribute that. So I'll get 4 minus 2x minus 14 over this. All right, because they're both the same. And then you have -2x. 4 minus 14 is -10. And then you don't have to factor. Do you notice if you do factor the top, won't it be a 5 here? And it's not going to go anywhere, is it? So just leave it alone. It's done. It won't reduce. You can't reduce it because if you did take a -2 out, that's an x+5, not an x+7. So nothing would cancel anyway. It won't reduce. All right, wow, okay. Nothing about that one. So here, you guys try this one. Let me see, I'm gonna leave that up there in case somebody wants to look at it again. So everybody got that? You guys got that? Anybody not got that? What's up, Jane? What's up? Oh, Muhammad.
I was going to say yes. Yes, I have it.
Oh, yes, you have it. Not yes, you don't got it. Okay. So try this one. Let's see. I don't know. Can you guys see that? Yes. Oh, you can do it, Jeff. Sure. Oh, I'll wait. Wherever you are, I'm not going to answer that. Washington, Pennsylvania. What the shit is that? Sorry, getting a weird phone call. All right, let me catch up to you guys. Let me bring this back down to normal here. All right, take this away. All right. What's the first step up here?
Factor x squared minus 2x minus 15.
Sweet. And the reason you're not factoring both is because you can't factor that. So you factor, in general, you just factor every bottom that you can. This guy can't factor. He's just one piece. Cool. He can just sit there and wait. So what do you get when you factor this one?
X minus 5 and x plus 3.
Like it. Now, somebody else, tell me, what is this guy missing? What's he missing that he's got? What has he got? He's got an x plus 3. So what's he missing that this guy has? X minus 5. Does everybody see that? To me, this is one of those things, it's almost frustrating, but most people do get this, but it is nowhere near as difficult as some people seem to try to make it. It really is exactly what I'm saying. What's he got? X plus 3. Okay, so does he. What has he not got that this guy's got? Well, the other thing, x minus 5. Oh, shit, well, let me give it to him. And then they both have the same denominator, right? Let it be that nice. So people might get that, but not know how to factor. Again, if you don't know how to factor, I'm not sure what you're trying to do right now. You need to know how to factor. You can't do a lot of what we have left to do. Let me see if I can get off my butt. Yes. So this guy needs a x minus 5. I like it. So again, you got the negative here. You don't have to do this if you can figure out a way to remember this, but you might want to do this. Bring the negative up here so you don't forget to bring it through. So I'll get 2x minus 4x plus 20 all over this, right? X plus 3, x minus 5. Let me stop for a minute. Oh, let me make that look more like a 20. There we go. Oh, this will help. Hold on. A little stand for you. Oh my God. We're all on a roller coaster. All right. Any questions about, do you guys see where everything came from? There's the 2x. There's the negative 4x plus 20. And over the common denominator, right? So since I made the denominators the same, I'm allowed to combine the tops. That's the idea. And of course, now if I finish combining these, I'll get negative 2x plus 20 all over x plus 3, x minus 5. And if I did take a negative 2 out, this would be a negative 10. So I'm not going to do it. I can see that it won't reduce. So I can just stop right there. Become a 20. Let's close up. Now again, if you don't know how to factor, you cannot do the most crucial step. So these would be impossible for you to do, right? If you know how to factor, these are actually relatively simple now. Which kind of makes sense because factoring is not necessarily a gimme thing. It's kind of a weird thing to get used to doing. Okay, let's try another one. I want to try one that's a little bit evil. Yeah, nothing we've done yet I consider evil at all. Here's one that's a little bit evil. What do you got, Jeff? Yeah, sure, let's do it. Okay. Actually, I really like this one. It's just, there isn't really a huge trick here, but you just got to remember what you're allowed to do with fractions. So does anyone have a suggestion?
Is it same as before where the second fraction is missing the positive 3?
But
So
it can't be. Because if I multiply by 3, which is the only thing I'm allowed to do, multiply or divide, I'm going to get 21 over 3m. I'm not allowed to add something to the top and bottom of a fraction. Do you guys see what I'm saying?
Yes. So find the lowest common denominator for these two terms.
Yeah, so tell me. Let me catch up to you.
Okay.
What does this guy have on the bottom?
Only m plus 3.
He's got
The
an m plus
missing
3.
m.
Right? He's got an m plus 3.
Yeah. M plus 3. Yeah.
What is happening out there? All right. Hopefully everything gets figured out. Okay. This guy's got an m plus 3. This guy's got an m. Do they have anything in common?
No.
Does everybody agree? Anybody disagree? You're all like, man, she normally knows her shit. I don't know if I'm going to disagree with her. Does anybody, you guys cool with that? The bottom of this does not have an M. The bottom of this does not have an M. Let me show you an example, just to kind of prove to you I'm not insane. What about 4 over, well, let's make it, you can do it, Jeff. 5 over 8 plus 2 over 3. Does 8 have a 3 in it?
No.
Stop, Yank. I know you know that already. I want everybody else. Even if I could write this as 5 plus 3, isn't that 8? Isn't that what 8 is? Sure, but that doesn't help me worth shit because I need factors to work, right? So in this case, what would the LCD be for these? What would the LCD be?
1.
No. Careful. What would the LCD be? What number would have to end up on the bottom of both of those? Yes, I see Jose. 24, of course, right? It's really interesting. The only time you multiply these to get the LCD is if they don't share anything. They need each other then. Oh, he needs a 3. He needs an 8. So what does this first guy need? This first guy needs an M. What's this guy need? M plus 3. Do you guys see that? Do you see why that one's a little bit evil, right? Because it seems like the M is common. Nope. This one did not have any M on the bottom to start with. He didn't. That's why he needed it. He has an M plus 3. That's exactly the same idea as this. He doesn't have a 3 in the bottom. He's got he's got a 3 plus 5 in the bottom. Doesn't mean shit. He doesn't have a 3 then. Okay, I don't know if you guys get that, but you can only multiply or divide the top and bottom of a fraction. We actually know this. It's just very easy to think, well, everything's different now. Nope. Not a damn thing can be different now. It's got to stay the same. So here I get, so again, I can do this for myself, right? So here I get m squared minus 7m minus 21 all over m times m plus 3. And if you try to factor the top, it won't work. It's prime. So you can stop right there. Hey, little person. Okay. So that one, I just want to show you an example of, it seems like there's less stuff going on, but it's evil because your brain says, oh, it's just missing a plus 3. No, it isn't. The same way that that's not missing a 5, right? You know that's not missing a 5. But isn't 8 5 plus 3? So what? It needs to multiply by something to become the other guy. All right. Maybe. Okay. So here's something else kind of weird. Everybody got this? Anybody not got this yet? All right. Go back to my black pen. Come here. All right. How about this dude? Let's see. This is written sort of incorrectly in a sense, right? How many denominators are up there?
3.
Good. Just one of them doesn't show up yet, so we better make it show up. All right, now I've got 3 fully formed fractions, right? Fully formed fractions. Holy flapjack. All right. So each one of them has to have the LCD. Oh, I made this even. Oh, anyway, this is going to be interesting. Can you guys, which one of those denominators can you factor meaningfully?
The first one?
Yeah, the first one. So I can rewrite that as y times y plus 2. Is that cool? So obviously, what's this guy missing?
Another y?
Needs another y. Now, what's he missing?
The y and the 2?
Everything. Shit, he ain't got nothing. So if you have a problem where there's a whole number in there and you're combining fractions, don't forget it's over 1. It needs to be taken into account. It needs to be folded in, right? So now, so again, I can do this for myself. So I get 4 plus 3y minus y squared minus 2y all over y times y plus 2. Let me stop for a minute. Maybe not a full minute, but you know what I mean. Do 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 do. All right. Any questions about that so far? Now I can put, I'm sorry. All right. Now I can put my like terms together. Let me see if I can put it in sort of 3y minus 2y is plus y, and then I have a plus 4. Hopefully you guys can kind of see that that's never, there's no factors of 4 that make 1, negative 4 make 1. There's no way to factor at the top, so I can stop right there. Stop right there. Pretty funky. All right, so the only point there, the only thing that was different was, well, 2 things actually. I put 3 parts to it, so what? They just all need an LCD. And there's a whole number piece. I have to put it over 1 and make sure it gets put in there correctly. Okay, all right. So, no questions on that? Are you guys okay with this? Okay, I like it. I think I'm gonna just keep going like everything's great.
I get it.
Oh, yes.
I said I get it.
Okay. So a little bit of a step into the next thing. Let me see. There. Now watch. We've actually done this before, this first one. So this is not new. This is a little review to get us into the feel of this next section. So this is not from chapter 8. This is from chapter 2 or whatever the hell it was. See who remembers how to do this. We've done this kind of thing before, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure we did. The whole point of this problem, I don't know if you guys remember what the first step was, but if I can make everything divided by the same number, I can multiply everything by that number, and then all my denominators go away. Why can't I do that in the problems we were just doing? Why couldn't I just multiply all the bottoms away? Because this is an equation. The other ones weren't. Right? What can I do in an equation? I can multiply both sides by something. And what would the LCD be?
15.
15. This guy's missing a 5. This guy's missing a 3. So then I get 5x over 15 plus 6 over 15 equals 4x over 15. And then if my red pen went rolling over there the other day. If I multiply everything by 15, right? Because I'm allowed to multiply both sides by anything I want to except 0. So of course I'm going to multiply everything by 15 because that'll cancel. I don't know if this sounds familiar to anybody, but we have done this before. So then I would have 5x plus 6 equals 4x. This one kicks ass. 6 equals negative x, so x equals negative 6. Bam. So I have no idea if you remember that, but if I make all the bottoms the same, that means they're all being divided by the same number. So how do I kill that? I just multiply by that number, and then they all cancel. Now what gets me down is when somebody forgets to cancel and they multiply 15 times 5. Why would you do that? The first thing 15 does is it dies. It's not there anymore. Okay. So that's not the new stuff. That's old shit. What's the new stuff going to look like? Well, you already know. It's going to have variables on the bottom. So let's see what that's going to look like. Anybody still copying that down? No. Everybody's good? Color-coded, Jeff. I know. So now, that was old and busted. This is new hotness. New stuff. Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't be giving my computer no virus. Stop that. All right. So what about this guy? Oh, baby. So the nice thing about this is your first step is the same as it was in the last section. Are there any denominators you can factor? Like you're all like, don't answer him. Maybe he'll just stop. No, come on. Are there any bottoms I can factor? Which bottom can I factor?
The first one.
The first one, I like. And the beautiful thing about a lot of the problems is that the rest of the problem is a major hint as to how to, it's not always going to work that way, but just pay attention to the whole problem. This is x plus 1, x minus 1, right? That's what that gets rewritten as. So what's this guy missing?
X plus 1.
And of course, he's missing x minus 1. So I'm going to write a lot more than I normally would. So now we get 4x over x plus 1, x minus 1. Plus x plus 1. Is that cool? The 1 goes through, doesn't change anything. Equals 2. Where'd it go? 2x minus 2. So what takes the place of the 15 in the other problem? This does. So what am I going to multiply everything by? This. Aren't they all being divided by this? So if I multiply everything by, this is like the 15 on the last problem. If I multiply everything by that, they all cancel. The same way the 15 did. And why would I expect it to be any different? That's a number, 15 is a number. Of course they're going to work the same way. So my first step in an equation that's what's called a rational equation. It's got rational parts to it. Rational expressions are just ratios of polynomials. So if I have a rational equation, I make all the bottoms the same, and then I multiply by that bottom. They all go away then, just like the 15 did. So now, of course, I've got 4x. Come on, pen. Come on, you can do it. Plus x plus 1 equals 2x minus 2. Is that a difficult equation? I mean, if I gave you this equation on a test or a final or something, you'd go, oh yeah, yes, please, Jeff, more of those. Oh, this is so awesome, by the way. I didn't even try to make this come out. Can you guys finish that up real quick? And then I got to talk about why there actually is no answer. Let's see if you see. Did I do that right in my head? Yes, I did. Yay. I did not even mean for this to happen. This is kind of awesome. So I can make 2 points in one problem. That kicks ass. So this looks more complicated than the problem that was up here a minute ago with the 15s. But I really hope you guys see it's the exact same thing. Each piece takes longer to write. Who cares? They work the exact same way. And then this is a beautiful, holy shit, this is beautiful. So I get 5x plus 1 equals 2x minus 2, subtract 2x, subtract 1. I get 3x equals negative 3. So I get x equals negative 1. Is that cool? Oh, shit. There we go. Is that all right? You guys with me so far?
Yeah, that's what I got.
All right. And no solution. There's no solution, kids. The only possible answer is that one. What happens to the equation if I make x negative 1? What happens to this, for example, if I make x?
Cancels out.
So more importantly, it makes it a fraction that has a what where. If I put a negative
on the bottom.
a 0 on the bottom, is that allowed?
No.
Nope. So one thing, since I have a variable on the bottom of my fraction, it is possible the bottom is 0. Right? Because there are values of x that would make, so what would make this one 0 on the bottom if x was 1? What makes that one 0 if x is negative 1? Do you guys, so if I get one of those things as the answer, there's actually no solution. There's nothing, because if I try to plug negative 1 in, it makes that part undefined. So you have to, I really want you to, since we have variables on the bottom, I have to be careful about the possible answer I get. I can't let it do something it's not allowed to do. It can't make them undefined. I can't use it. So the only possible answer is not allowed. So then what's the answer? No solution. So I always get at least one person that gets upset. They're like, I do all this damn work, and then math gives me an answer that doesn't work. And my point is, no. The only way math could possibly tell you this has no solution is like this, is to give you something that wouldn't work. That's the only way we would ever tell it's got no solution. It's not math's fault. Math doesn't have a mouth. That would be weird if it did, right? Then it wouldn't just be in your nightmares. It'd be standing next to your bed, yelling in your ear, I'm math. So thankfully, it doesn't have a mouth. So this is the only way it can communicate with us. I have no idea if what I'm saying makes sense, but it's sort of like the way I look at it. All right. Ooh. Let's try one more of those and then we'll call it a day. That was kind of cool. I can't even take credit for that coming out that way. I mean, I can't think that far ahead. Hopefully everybody's got what they want from that because it's going away. All right, last one for today. Yay! It's my favorite part of the class. Be quiet. Let me see if this one's working. Ooh. So let's see. What is it, Jeff? Let's do, sure. Let's see if let's see what happens. This could go the other way and I can get a really, really, really ugly answer. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. So, what's the first step?
To break up the first denominator.
Good. Any denominator that you can factor, you do it. So I can factor this one. And not surprisingly, it's dead times dead. Is it always going to act exactly like that? No. Will it act like that a decent amount? Yes. There's actually the rest of the problem very often gives you the answer to one piece. That's remarkably nice. Why does it make sense that that would happen? Because now I can see exactly what they're missing. I can see what they already have. So what's this guy missing?
X plus 4.
X plus 4. Of course, this guy's missing x minus 7. Oh, scheisse. So you see, the first guy didn't need anything. For some reason, people put stuff here. Why? He's got everything. He doesn't need anything, right? He's that guy that lives up the hill. You're like, whatever, dude. Got a boat, got a nice house, whatever. Anyway, sorry. He didn't need anything, so don't give him anything. So let me see. I normally don't do this, but I'll write it all out. Why am I back to this pen? I don't know. All right, 4x plus 16. Equals 2x minus 14. And now what do? What do I do now? Why did we do that? Why did I just do all that work? What is it for? What could I do? Why did I do that? I don't know. I made all the bottoms the same, right? Are all the bottoms the same? Yes. So now I multiply by that because everything currently is being 3 divided by this thing, that divided by this thing. Well, if I multiply by this thing, then all my fractions disappear. If I multiply each one by that, it cancels. That cancels. That. Well, if I would have written this right, it would have canceled. And now you can see what's left. After that remarkably gross step, so much shit canceled. I'm left with a 3 plus 4x plus 16 equals 2x minus 14. I mean, that's, give me a break, right? That's almost too nice. All right, so just to kind of cut to the chase, I get 4x plus 19 plus 2x minus 14. Subtract 2x, subtract 19, divide by 2. You can do it, Jeff. I get that weird thing. Negative 33 over 2. Come with 3. Very quickly, something I forgot I was going to do. What can x not be? Do you guys see what x can't be? What would make this 0? Let me show you this one. What would make that 0? If x was
Positive.
7. And what would make that 0? If x was, you could do it, you could do it. What do you add to 4 to make 0?
Negative 4.
There we go, in stereo. So x cannot be 7, x cannot be negative 4. Did we get either of those? Nope, we got that yummy number. So at least, now I don't know if that's true. I didn't just check that number to make sure it made the equation true. I checked it to make sure that it didn't make anybody freak out. Nobody freaks out. Nobody gets undefined, right? So at least on that level, it's an okay answer. I could leave it. Okay, maybe. So you always have to take that last check. Get an answer and then make sure the answer doesn't make anybody undefined, because if it does, you have to toss it. Okay, we still haven't quite done the hardest examples of this kind of problem, but that'll be next. There's only one more level of this kind of problem, don't freak out. Otherwise, I think that's plenty for today. Does anybody need to hang out? Let me see, does anybody need to see the rest of that again? Okay, somebody's already headed out. Anybody need to have any questions?
I have a question. I was trying to do my quiz last night, and I was doing it at midnight because it was the only time I had, and I didn't get to turn it in. So can I get a makeup quiz for that one?
Who is this talking to me right now? Is that
Savannah.
Anna? Okay,
My car just got totaled, so I've been stressed out.
I understand. Yeah, I think there's a few people that I need to make makeup quizzes. So just be happy, in general, be happy that you're going to get a makeup quiz, and then just continue to remind me until I get it done, okay? I actually made a makeup quiz for somebody, and then they didn't take it, and now I'm like, oh my God, come on. So just stay on top of things. Just keep emailing me. Remind me that there's a makeup quiz I'm supposed to make for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Just work with me. All right. Because I agree. I let you make up tests if you miss them, and now we don't have any tests anymore. So I've got to kind of be lenient a little bit about missing quizzes. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
So, you said the final is at the end of May, correct?
Yeah, you can get more specific by just looking at the homework sheet.
Okay,
Just
but
hold
the
it.
thing is, we don't know when the last day is for school.
No. Oh my God. Okay. So like I just said, if you look at the homework sheet, so since the first day of class, you knew exactly when the final was going to be. Or actually, not since the first day, but since recently.
Yes.
Let me pull this thing up. So if you look in Canvas, here we go. Here, I'll put it up on the shared thing in a minute. As soon as I find it. So if you can hear, I'll share right now. If you go to, I believe it's in announcements, the updated homework sheet. It's going to want me to save the dang thing. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Hold on. There we go. There's the final exam. So the only thing that's changed about the semester is we went what's called remote. We're remote now. We're not on campus. Everything else stays the same, right? So our final exam is still same day, same time. You guys with me? And
Yeah.
of course, it's going to be over Zoom. Yay, so much fun.
Is that could be like the last day of the whole Zoom thing and last day of lectures and stuff like that is what I meant.
So the last day of lecture is right there, Thursday, May 21st.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anything else, guys? All right, I don't see any other questions. I'm going to shut this down. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.